Hi everyone, my name is Shannon. Welcome to King Family Farm and welcome to my living room. I was just having a cup of coffee after my barn chores this morning, and I was starting to look at one of my gardening books, and I thought, hey, I should share with you the gardening books that I truly enjoy and I think are great for beginner gardeners and those looking to expand their gardening experience. So I just want to start by saying that I'm going to link all the books down below in the description. They will be Amazon affiliate links, and if you purchase through those links, I may or may not get a small commission on that, and it does not increase the cost to you, but I want you to be able to find these books, and I really think they're fantastic and worth the purchase. The one that I really started with and I absolutely love is this one here. This is Eliot Coleman's New Organic Grower. You can see this is really, it's really dog-eared. I reference this one all the time. It goes through the basics right through. It does everything from season extension, pest control, transplanting, direct seeding, soil fertility, whether or not you should till. It does talk about tillage, crop rotation. It's really an all-around reference. It has had soil block in it, and you know that I have shown you in previous videos, which I'll link below, on soil blocking. And of course, when I do some seeding this year, I will also soil block. It's a great way to start seeds and use a little less plastic. So this book, I highly recommend it for new growers. I think it's a great place to start. And if you're only going to buy one book, I think this one's it. So now he does have another one. I'm a commercial grower, so I have also got this one here, which is the Winter Harvest Handbook. And this is more about season extension. It's also geared more towards commercial growers, but that doesn't mean that it's not relevant to home growers. You would just scale it down for yourself. But I think that's a really great one. He has another 4-season harvest. I don't know. I don't have my copy of it here. I loaned it out, which I don't normally do. But 4-season harvest is also a really fantastic book, and it's geared more towards the home grower. This is more for commercial growers. So both of these I highly recommend. If you want to expand on that, there's this book, How to Grow More Vegetables and Fruits, Nuts, Berries, Grains, and Other Crops than you ever thought possible on less land with less water than you can imagine. So if you are looking to start with your homestead, you want to expand what you're growing, I think this is a very interesting book. Again, it talks about some companion planting, starting with seeds, how to plant tighter than you may otherwise plant. I saw it there. And I don't really go by the spacing on the seed packets. So this one here is like, there's a section in here that talks about like planting on like a diagonal or a honeycomb, and you get more plants in this way. And this is how I plant the majority of my crops as well. I get more bang for my buck. And this is a really great book for that particular bit of information. If you want to continue to have a sustainable garden after you've grown your stuff and you want to save your own seeds, this is a really great book. Seed to Seed by Suzanne Ashworth. Now, everything in it's black and white, and that's okay. The information is invaluable. We've got a picture here about how to cover up so that you're not cross-pollinating and how to save seeds. Now, this is for vegetables, which is fine because that's mostly what people are trying to save seeds for, and I think that's great. I do save some seeds from flowers, and the principles are the same. So if you're looking for that type of information, you can do that. So this is a really great reference book for saving seeds. To go with the organic growing, The Soul of Soil is a really great reference book. This is for building your soil. And if you want to be an organic grower, the way to have bumper crops, avoid pests and disease, is to build your soil. High quality soil builds more resilient plants. And this book tells you how to do it. I got this one. This is by Lisa Mason Zeigler from the Gardener's Workshop. She's down in Newport News, Virginia. So this is companion planting and why you should be planting flowers in your vegetable garden. I remember being like a preteen and into my teens and always wondering, I didn't really see the point. My mom was a fantastic flower gardener. She loved her roses and she grew beautiful flowers. I didn't see the point. I couldn't eat them. And you can eat some of them, but you can only eat so many flowers and it's just not enough food. So I was really only interested in growing vegetables and herbs. And then when I left my parents' property and I started growing on my own property and I didn't have flowers, my vegetables didn't do as well. And I didn't realize it was because my mom's gardens that were all flowers and beautiful, they truly were, encouraged pollinators and pest control to hang around. And so my vegetables did so much better on that property because of the diversity. And this book talks about creating that diversity. There's a reason your grandmother planted zinnias in her vegetable garden patch, and it wasn't just so they were pretty on the table. She knew that those flowers would bring in the pollinators necessary to have really good bumper crops. This is a great book. So if you're looking to expand from growing for your family, you may want to go into market gardening. And even if you're not, this is a really interesting book. This is The Market Gardener by Martin-Fortier. He's up in Quebec. He's a market gardener. He's got some videos. I think he has a master market gardeners class as well that I haven't checked out. But this book is a really fantastic reference, again, for crop rotation, choosing what to grow. He has his most successful crops that he grows in it. There's a lot of the business side of growing for market in here. Great book. Love it. Recommend it. This book, Good Bug, Bad Bug. You see those bugs in the garden, you're not really sure. Take a picture, come into the house. Most of us have our phone in our pocket, right? Check this book out. This book tells you with great pictures what the different cutworm, those of us that grow tomatoes hate cutworms. They're terrible. Asparagus beetle, aphid. Like there's aphids in here. I'm looking for, there's another one. It's tomato hornworm. Apparently, they glow in the dark. So if you go in your garden at night, you want to get them before they get this big. If you go in your garden at night with a black light, you can see these guys and pick them off. We haven't really had a problem with them here, but I remember them at my parents' place when I was a teenager. I have a picture of it somewhere, and it was so big. I just cut the leaf, and my dad held it, and Dad has these huge, like, big contractor hands. And this hornworm was like the size of his hand. It was disgusting. I mean, I cut it in half after I took the picture, but ooh. And I had just never seen them before. So that's a tomato hornworm. They are not, there's a stink bug, but there's the beneficial bugs that are in here. Spiders are good, tachnid flies, robber fly. Praying mantis. I haven't seen one of those in ages. Parasitic wasp. These guys are fantastic. And once in a while, what you'll see is a hornworm, and it's got a bunch of white-looking eggs on it. It's not the hornworm eggs. It's the eggs from the parasitic wasp. And what they do is they've been attached to the hornworm, and they hatch, and then they literally eat the hornworm from the inside out. Nature is gross and fantastic. So you can see on the front of this is like the Colorado potato beetle. It's like the bane of our existence here in New Brunswick is these suckers. They're terrible. So highly recommend this book. Great little reference book. And I like that it just folds out flat. I love the binding on it. I think it's fantastic. What else? So this is like the original reference book for people who are looking to grow cut flowers. It has everything from marketing to all the different flowers you can grow, diversification, learning from designers. harvest, air drying flowers, season extension, field growing, buying and starting plants, and how to deal with your starts when they arrive, where to site it, and just really good start to finish information on how to market flowers. So along with that book, I also got this book, and this is Cool Flowers, which is also by Lisa Mason Zeigler. And this is about growing hardy annuals. And if you're a vegetable grower, I still think the information in this book is relevant. The information here is still relevant. It will teach you how to choose when to plant certain things. If things are hardy in your area, particularly if you're in like zone 5 and above, we're in zone 3. There's not a lot of stuff here that'll make the winter, so fall planting is a bit risky for certain things. But in the spring, you can plant out with some protection a lot earlier than you think. And some plants do much better when they're planted in the cool weather. And if you've done a bit of growing, you know that lettuces and brassicas, they do really, really well in the spring, and then July hits and they crap out. And then they come back and they do okay again in the fall. And that's the principles in this book, is how to work with the seasons, extend your season, and not fight a plant's natural tendency to grow well in certain seasons. So again, Cool Flowers, I think it's a great book. If you're moving into homesteading, you want to homestead, because gardening is kind of just, it's one of those things that you need to do when you homestead. This book just came out. This is the first time Homesteader by Jessica Sowards. And it's a good general reference book. It's beautiful. I mean, she's an artist. She's a photographer as well. So she just does really beautiful work. But this is just a really good general reference book that I really enjoyed. So if you're looking to stepping into homesteading and you're not quite sure where to jump off, this is a great choice. We also have chickens here, we have turkeys, we have rabbits, we have ducks, and I would love some other animals. So this book's pretty neat. This is the Backyard Homestead Guide to Farm Animals. And it talks about what care each type of animal needs. So there's like geese there, and it goes right through to having cattle for the homestead, dairy cattle, and what they need and the type of shelter they need. So this is a really nice reference book, and I do like this one. Another kind of book that I recommend, and I'm going to say kind of book because I live in New Brunswick, and so this book is only relevant if you live in New Brunswick, or if you're like you come and you want to hike and you want to look for wildflowers here. But I think a field guide for the area that you live in is really great reference. So you can see what type of plants grow really well in your area, and not fight your garden to try to get things to grow that just won't grow there. It's not worth it. I mean, sometimes you want to grow things and like shelter it and baby it along. And I mean, I have a lemon tree, but I have to bring it in for the winter. You know, if you plant it outside, it's not going to make it. There's just no such thing as a wild lemon tree here anyways. I don't even know if there's wild lemon trees anywhere else, but that type of plant just doesn't do well here. So I always recommend a field guide. This is a really nice one. This is Todd Boland that wrote this one. Great colorful pictures, all the different kinds of plants. And sometimes it's nice to know what's growing on your property. So you know whether you need to avoid it. And I think that's really important. So these are just some of my favorite books. I'm sure there's lots more out there, but these are the books that I have and I use all the time. If you have books that you enjoy, please mention it down in the comments. I'm sure other people would like to check out those books as well. Don't forget, I will put all of these books, I'll link them down in the description for you, and you'll be able to go and get them. It'll be Amazon links, and that's what I'll use for you. And you'll be able to go and look at them and possibly purchase ones that you like. Don't forget, your library is a great resource. I do know the New Brunswick Library has the new organic grower, which is the Eliot Coleman book. I think they have some other Eliot Coleman books as well. So if you're not into purchasing the books, don't forget your local library. They have great selection of books as well. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you here next time on the farm.